Hi there, I'm Mike, and it's San Diego Comic-Con, so let's take a look at what was just announced over the last weekend. If you are like me, you're very excited for any kind of Star Wars The Black Series announcement, but also, I collect Marvel Legends and Transformers, and Comic-Con is always a treasure trove of brand new toys being announced. It's like Christmas, but the Christmas where Santa charges you for everything, but he gives you a bunch of really cool stuff that you have to buy. So before we get into the actual Comic-Con news, let's start a little bit before Comic-Con. First, just a few days before Comic-Con happened, Hasbro announced the upcoming San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's this, Star Wars The Black Series Rise of the Skywalker Sith Trooper. As you can see, I happen to have snagged one from the convention. Thanks, Condi. Yes, before you ask, of course, I'm going to be doing my own review of it, and I'll hope to get that up soon. But I have to talk about the news first, and there's a bunch of things going on. I'll see what I can do, but I definitely want to get this open soon because looking at it, it just looks so pretty. The other 6-inch Black Series Star Wars exclusive was the Boba Fett in the original toy colors. I didn't end up picking that up because I had to choose one or the other, and I went for the new figure rather than the repaint of a figure I already had. Although, I do want it. I wouldn't mind it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So the Star Wars Black Series panel actually happened on Friday. I really had no idea what to expect. I believe I remember them saying at Star Wars Celebration, and then again at the New York Toy Show, that not to expect much from Star Wars Celebration, because the big thing that's happening this year is the Triple Force Friday. On October 4th, they're going to be releasing figures from the upcoming Rise of Skywalker Episode 9 movie. They'll be releasing figures from the Mandalorian TV show, which is airing in November, which I'm very excited for. And they're going to be releasing figures that's based on the new upcoming video game, Jedi The Fallen Order. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of this and that, and I've even posted on some of those, even though I try never to post about rumors. There's just not a lot of real news going on, and there's so many rumors, I had to talk about it. So we're not really expecting much, and true to form, nothing really got shown off. Like almost nothing got shown off on Friday. First, of course, they showed off the Sith Trooper, and you could buy the Sith Trooper. This thing retails for $32, just so you know, but on eBay it's going for a lot more. But don't fear if you didn't get it this weekend. It is going to be in the beginning of September. It is going to go on sale at Hasbro Pulse. I don't remember the exact date. If I can find it, I'll probably post it somewhere down here. So you can still get it if you didn't get out to the show, but it's going to be, sometime around then. So other than the Sith Trooper, only one thing was really shown off, and that was a prototype for the upcoming Dagobah Luke. Now, this wasn't a surprise to anybody. We knew he was coming because he won the fan poll for the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back figure line that's coming out, similar to the one that came out a couple years ago for A New Hope. They showed off in a slide some very grayscale pictures, and if I can't find an actual version, I'll steal this from Toy Shiz, who stole it from someone else. The links will be here, and I'll give photo credit because they didn't really release much information on this other than here's what it could look like. I'm a little disappointed that there's no kind of backpack because, what's a Dagobah Luke without a Yoda on his back? So I was really hoping for some kind of backpack. Maybe it's still going to come. Maybe they just didn't want to spill the beans too early. But, lightsaber and gun, that's kind of normal. We'll see. It's hard to tell from just this low quality image. And that's not the person who took its fault. It's a picture of a slide. Like, what are you going to do? And that's it for the Star Wars 6-inch figures. That was it. It wasn't anything else. There are some other Black Series things they showed off. Number one, they showed off the hyper-real Luke Skywalker. He looks good. I have the hyper-real Darth Vader on order. They're $80. They're 8 inches, and there's a lot of good and bad that goes along with this. First of all, we've got cloth goods. So these are seemingly in direct competition with Mezco figures, which have a similar price point and also tend to have soft goods, which is a big thing of the line. The problem here is those are still 6-inch figures, so they still kind of scale well with your other figures, whereas these are 8. They're a lot bigger. They're their own kind of scale. They're their own line. So it is kind of its own thing. They're kind of novelties rather than meshing in with the rest of your figures, which you can take it or leave it. Now, Luke, like Vader, will retail for about $80, and he's going to come out sometime in the fall of 2020. Now, the other definitive Black Series announcement was just a helmet. For $120 in the spring of 2020, you'll be able to buy Boba Fett's helmet, which is fine. I've never really been into these. The lightsabers, the helmets, they're cool. I don't know. It's just something I can't really get into. But I know there are people out there that like it, and technically it is part of the Black Series brand. So I do want to kind of at least report on it, say, hey, this is a thing that's coming out. And that's pretty much it. Now, before I move on to other things, because there are other things I want to talk about, the Fwoosh posted pictures, and I'm not going to take any of their images. They're like their own big thing. But there's going to be a link down in the downstairs area of the Fwoosh's kind of article about this and their pictures. Hasbro had a diorama of Black Series figures, and it was all Jabba the Hutt themed, and in that diorama are figures that we haven't seen before. I don't know if they're custom, I don't know if they're upcoming, I don't know if Hasbro's just testing the waters to see people's reactions, but the first and foremost was a 6-inch scaled Rancor. And the pictures I've seen of it look fantastic. Also, among those are things like, we have 8D8, EV99, a Gonk droid, Bib Fortuna, and also Jedi Luke Skywalker, but with his tunic on. Like we've had a Jedi, Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker figure before, but not with that tunic on that he had at the beginning of the movie. So again, we'll see. Maybe these are figures that are sort of like a weird kind of pre-announcement, like a tease. Maybe they're just customs that Hasbro put out to just fill out a diorama. If they did that, I mean, it kind of sucks, Hasbro. Everyone wants those figures, especially Bib Fortuna, especially that Luke, especially a Rancor. I mean, come on. Come on. You wanna. It's not like we're not gonna buy them. So that's pretty much it for the Black Series news. They announced other things. Most importantly, they announced a new figure line. It's a 5-inch figure line based on the Galaxy of Heroes Star Wars Kids YouTube channel animation kind of thing. Now, if you haven't seen these, I highly recommend going and watching them. I subscribe to the YouTube's Kids channel. It's actually a really great channel, and there's a lot of really cool things on there. But these little recaps, the Galaxy of Heroes or Galaxy of Adventures is what it's called. The Galaxy of Adventures, they're really cool little snippets of information, really well animated. And up until now, they've had a line of figures for them, but they've just been repurposed, reissued 3 3/4 inch figures. They haven't been really anything unique. It's just been a bunch of things that have been out before, put in these little tubes. Now, it's getting its own line. They're going to be 5-inch scales, so slightly smaller than the 6-inch line, but obviously bigger than 3 3/4. And they're going to be stylized, much like the animation is. The animation for the Galaxy of Adventures is very stylized. I like it. And so far, they've showed up a couple of characters, and I think they look pretty good. I'm actually maybe interested in buying a couple of these. They're going to retail for $9.99. They're going to come out sometime this fall. So they showed up Darth Vader, C-3PO, Chewbacca, and Han Solo. They're supposed to have some kind of gimmicks and action figures, like a toy should. They're definitely not geared towards collectors, but I've got the Disney Toy Box line of Star Wars figures. I definitely like those, and these kind of fit that aesthetic, so I kind of like it. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. When I see them in stores, I'll make a snap decision on whether or not to maybe pick one or two up, at least probably the Darth Vader, and if they come out with like a Boba Fett or like a Bosk, I'll probably snag those because those are my faves. And that's it. That's it for Star Wars. There's no other Star Wars things announced. So let's talk about other things because it hasn't been that much news, and I want to just kind of keep the ball rolling because, again, I started off as just a toy channel, and I kind of want to go a little bit more branched out. I know a lot of people want that as well. So let's start with Transformers news. Obviously, the big announcement is Unicron. Unicron is the latest HasLab kind of crowd-funded project. I have sat my peepers on this in person with my own eyeballs. I have to say, I was definitely like, yeah, I want it, but I don't know how much. Seeing it in person was a life-changing experience. This thing is a work of art, and I only saw the grayscale prototype. I didn't get into the actual convention, so I didn't see the actual colored version, but what I saw was a grayscale prototype with no glass or anything around it. I could have reached out and touched it, but I didn't, out of respect for the Hasbro Pulse crew that were there. The designers of this toy were there, and I did a really cool interview with John Warden, and that's actually going to come up on the very next episode of Bots and Shots, which is coming out sometime in the next week or so. I'm working hard on it, but Zach and I went to a very special concert with Vince DiCola, and the Hasbro team was there, and I got to meet with a lot of industry insiders with Transformers, and it's a lot of fun, and Vince put on a fantastic concert. So if you're looking forward to that and you want to see some of that, look forward to the next Bots and Shots episode where I talk more about that. But suffice it to say, I am 100% sold on Unicron. I will be selling whatever kind of blood, semen, excess toys I don't want. However I can, I'll sell my body. However I can get this Unicron, I'm going to get this Unicron. Just like the HasLab sail barge, it's crowdfunded. It ends on August 31st at midnight Eastern Standard Time, or 11:59 or whatever. I think it's like a fifth of the way back. It's got more than a month to go. I don't see this not making it. and I just can't live in a world where I don't have this on my collection. I don't know how I'm going to fit it on my shelves. It's 27 inches tall, it's 20 pounds, and it's incredible. I can't overstate how incredible this thing is. But that's just one of the things. So Hasbro also showed off a lot of upcoming Siege figures. I don't want to get too much into them. So that's it for Transformers. Let's move on to the third thing I collected they really talked about. Now, they talked about a lot of stuff, but the next thing I want to talk about is Marvel Legends. Now, I don't want to go through every Marvel Legend announced because tons were announced. But the big thing I do is I don't collect every Marvel Legend. I just can't. I don't have the shelf space. I don't have the money. But I do try to collect the 90s X-Men designs. And I thought that was pretty safe, except for this year, it seems like every upcoming Legend is 90s X-Men. And the big thing they announced to kind of complete that, or help complete that, is the Love Triangle 3-pack with a Wolverine, which, you know, we've had before. He came with the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. He's mostly the same, except for he has one extra kind of battle-damaged head. And then he also has alternate hands with bone claws. Now, I don't care about this at all. I've got the Wolverine, don't care about battle damage, don't care about bone claws. But the other two figures on this are going to make this a must-have. First of all, Cyclops. This Cyclops is the same as the Cyclops I already have, except for he has the bomber jacket that Cyclops should have had in the first place. He also comes with two alternate heads, which look amazing. I can't overstate how great these head sculpts look. I love them. But the big piece de resistance on this 3-pack is, hands down, Jean Grey. She's a character that's been missing. We've had Phoenix and things like that, but this is 90s Jean Grey. She comes with an alternate head, one with flowing hair, one with a ponytail. I just think it looks so good. This is a $60 3-pack. Is it going to be worth it to basically buy two figures I already have and the one figure I'm missing? Maybe. Honestly, it's going to be a tough call. But I definitely think it looks good. A bunch of other figures were shown off and announced. There's a new line of Endgame figures with a Thor Build-A-Figure. The big one for me was the Strong Guy, which is going to be an Age of Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. There's going to be a Doctor Doom figure. Honestly, just like every year, the Marvel Legends line just keep pumping those out and just doing whatever the fans really, really want. They're really good at listening to fans, so it's really cool that Hasbro's taking that time and giving us what we want. So that's great. And I think it's going to be a great year upcoming for Marvel Legends fans for sure. And lastly, I want to talk about the NECA Ninja Turtle line. Now, I've collected all of these so far. They released 4 2-packs. I'm talking about the cartoon line. They've had the movie line, and they've got the video game line, and they're releasing more stuff of those. But I think the one that is near and dear to my heart is the cartoon line, because I grew up, obviously I had the toys, but I love the cartoon, and they've never really given us toys that match the cartoon. The toys have always kind of had their own design and flair. So now NECA has gone back to the cartoon, and they've given us these specific cartoon designs. Obviously, we have Bebop and Rocksteady, which they've announced before, and Leatherhead, which they've announced before. But they announced a slew of new foot soldiers to kind of build those up, which is really cool. Some of them have battle damage. They're recoloring the turtles to give them more of a promotional image look, and I think those look good. And I don't really want to buy the turtles again just because they're slightly different colors, but I might, because I do think they look really, really good. They're also releasing April, that's cartoon accurate, and a Casey Jones that again is cartoon accurate, and those also look fantastic. They have those cool little kind of like drill drone things with the whip arms coming out. Those look amazing. And the one they announced that was kind of a surprise to everybody is a Metalhead. Metalhead looks fantastic. He looks cartoon accurate. They also showed up a Slash to go. I don't know if it goes with them. Obviously, these are 2-packs. These are going to be Target exclusives just like the other ones, and I cannot wait to get them. I want this whole line, and I hate that I want it because it's just going to be rest in peace in my wallet. Some of the little things that were announced that are Ninja Turtles related, they showed off a Batman Ninja Turtle 2-packs from DC. Those look pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to collect them, but they look pretty good. If you're a Turtles fan, a Turtles collector, this year is going to be super, super expensive for you. Just coming from experience. And with that, that's it. That's all the toy news that I care about. There are other things there that, I mean, if you press me, yeah, I care about them too. Some He-Man stuff was shown off. But I just don't have time to go through all those, and there are other bigger channels that do a much, much better job than I do. But these are the things that I care about, so that's kind of what I want to talk about. I'm not a news channel, but I want to talk about what I like, and this is what I like so far. These are the things that were announced that are coming up that I'm looking forward to for sure. What was your favorite? Let me know down in the downstairs area. What are you looking forward to? What's your must-have coming out? Is it something I covered? Is it something I didn't cover? Let me know. I love to read and respond to each and every one of those. Are you getting Unicron? Let me know. And that's it. Thanks so much for supporting my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far. If you want to support my channel further, there are a couple different things down in the downstairs area that you can do to do that. But please, it always helps out if you do like, share, and subscribe. That's the biggest thing right there. And again, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far. And I'll see you later. Bye.